it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313 or visit keepkidssafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
The 2024 presidential election is here. With the race neck and neck and with so much at stake, MSNBC has the in-depth coverage and analysis you need. Our reporters are on the ground, and we're breaking down the numbers until every last vote is counted, providing you with insight on what it all means for the future of our country. Watch coverage of the 2024 presidential election Tuesday, November 5th, and listen to MSNBC Live on the free Odyssey app or wherever you watch MSNBC.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Wow. That's crazy. You locked her up? That is insane, man. She is not influencing people. She is not at all.
The witnesses and the videos revealed to us what happened. Crazy things sometimes do happen in Delco. I was married there. But we want to get right to the woman at the center of what is now a national controversy, because the video doesn't lie, the witnesses don't lie, and the Republican National Committee, right at the top there, Michael Whatley, demanding answers this morning after what happened in Delco after a friend of mine. This is Val Bianca Niello, who you know well, businesswoman, respected businesswoman in Delco, Pennsylvania, PAGOP State Committee woman, RNC delegate both in 20 and 24, a Trump supporter in her community. So welcome in, Val. Good morning. First of all, everybody wants to know.
Good morning, Dawn. How are you?
Good morning. Are you okay?
I am. I'm stunned. When I woke up this morning, I just couldn't believe what transpired yesterday. And I thought, is Delco now a police state? Like, what happened? And how can they be so emboldened? What I witnessed yesterday was voter suppression. It was obvious voter suppression. And to handcuff me in front of a very large crowd and take me away, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I didn't break any laws. They just did not want me being there. I didn't influence anyone's vote. I didn't tell them who to vote for. I just simply encouraged them to stay in line. Please vote. The reason I was there in the first place is because, obviously, in my capacity as a state committee woman, I am encouraging people to swamp the vote, to go and vote in person. I spent weeks, months encouraging people to vote so that we can reelect Donald Trump. And, answering questions, that's pretty much what I do all day long, is answer questions from voters. Why should I vote by mail? Is it safe? Where can I do it? How do I do it? So when I was getting calls from voters saying, Val, I went up there and I feel like they were discouraging me from voting. And other people were hearing the same. So I said, okay, I'll go up myself. And I stood in the lobby, and pretty much people would walk out, after they had obtained their mail-in ballot, and they were walking to the drop box, which is by the front doors of the government center and media. I'd say, did you have a good experience? And they, generally said, well, it was 2 hours. I waited, but I'm glad I did it. Okay, that's great. That's all I did. And I know a lot of the people who were in line. It was a lot of Republicans that I know. And, you're from Delco, Dawn. We all know each other here, right? Or, we graduated with someone, So anyway, so all I did, like I said, was encourage people to stay in line. It was really very social.
Yeah.
I was just chatting with people I know and not disruptive at all, certainly. So the election bureau worker would come out periodically and speak to this ever-growing line. And he would say things like, listen up, everyone. This line is 2 hours long. And when you get up to the front and we process your application, we're going to put you into a second line. And then we're going to put you in a third line. Now, this is what he said. And I thought, oh, my gosh, that sounds an awful lot like him discouraging people from standing in this line. This is voter suppression.
And, Val, this is the county election office, right? They're one of them because they did set up those satellite county election offices, too.
So there are four offices where people can go and vote in person. They can obtain their mail-in ballot and vote and put it in the drop box. So there was one person, Dawn, who apparently, was processing the applications and requests from this long line of voters. By the time they put me in handcuffs, it was literally wrapped all the way around the lobby of the government center. And again, I just would say, please, stay in line. Everyone needs to vote. Please stay in line. Please don't be discouraged. Then the elections worker, bureau worker, would come out and say, everyone, listen up. If you don't want to wait in this line because it's very long, you can go to our other service centers where the lines are much shorter. So now he's telling people to get out of line and go somewhere else. And so a young lady did just that, and she went to the Chester Heights location, which was not very far from the media government center. And she stands in line at Chester Heights, and when she gets to the front, they told her they cannot process her today because they are all out of mail-in ballot applications. Dawn. This is their job. They're a satellite office. I couldn't believe what I heard. And I said, they told you that, really? And she said, yes.
So what did she do? She came back then? She came back?
She came back to the government center to tell me this because she couldn't believe it, nor could I. And, I'm pretty sure, and I will have to research this some more, but I think 63 of the 67 counties in the Commonwealth received millions of dollars with the specific purpose of bolstering their staff for the election, the general election.
Right.
Increasing staff to handle the lines. So, it was a crazy day, Dawn. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then obviously, and the other thing he told the crowd, he came out again and he said, unless you have a pressing need to be in this line, you shouldn't be here.
Pressing need.
I think no excuse mail-in ballot doesn't need to be justified, correct?
Right.
These are the people who want
no excuse.
No excuse mail-in ballot voting. So I really was shocked.
So you had been here. Val, you had been, but you had been here. So what you're pointing out is you're here a while now. People are asking you some questions. You know each other, and the line is growing. And we can see some of the video that was put out on social media, and that's what Dan was playing in the beginning. There's quite a long line that has grown out the door. And so people have questions. You're trying to help and talk to them. So at what point does this escalate? At what point and why do the police get called in?
Well, the park police, it was park police, and they were already present in the lobby, and I believe they always are. I'm not 100% certain, but I did see them in the lobby for most of the time I was there. And so there were one or two, I'm assuming Democrats, who said, "You're electioneering." And I said, "No, first of all, this isn't a polling place. And secondly, I am certainly not electioneering. I'm not influencing anyone's vote. I'm not telling them how to vote. I was just there to support the people in line and encourage them to stay there. And, I'd say, please stay in line." And they said, "Okay, we're not going anywhere."
Right.
And then other people would say, how much longer do you think? And I said, "I don't know. But, it's important that you vote." And there was no disruption or anything like that. But, I did have my little elephant pin on, my GOP pin on my blazer. So I guess some people probably figured I was a Republican. But anyhow, the park police came over to me and they said, "Ma'am, can you leave?" And I said, "Leave? Why?"
Right.
And he said, we just want you off the premises." And I said, "Oh, wow." And now everyone in line sees this happening. And I thought, oh, my gosh, I'm here to support people and encourage them to stay in line. I'm not bailing on them, And I said, no, I'm staying here. This is my right to be here. And I said, that I'm staying. And he said, "Well, you helped someone fill out a mail-in ballot." And I said, "I did no such thing. I certainly did not help anyone fill out a mail-in ballot." Then he said, "Well, you're misrepresenting yourself as a county employee." And Dawn, I said, "Well, I would never misrepresent myself as a county employee. If anyone asked, I told them my name and that I'm a state committee woman. And I would certainly never work for Democrats. I'm a Trump delegate." Never.
Right.
So,
So at this point, they took it upon themselves to what? They start cuffing you, or?
So now a couple of more park police come over. And, the people in line, I see them becoming very distressed, watching this. And I was becoming very distressed. Is this a police state now? This is crazy.
Yeah,
this is next level insanity. And sure enough, I said, "Are you going to arrest me?" And he said, "Put the cuffs on." And they did. And they
cuff you.
Out of their
They cuff you in front of the whole crowd.
Yes.
You complied.
Yes. Well, I did.
We could see it on video.
I said, "Please stay in line and vote. Please stay in line. Do not be discouraged. It is so important to stay in line and vote." And, I said, as they were walking me past this line, I said, if they can arrest me for no reason, this will happen to you. This is why you need to vote. And they took me to to their office, and there was a holding room. And they patted me down. They handcuffed me to a bench.
They handcuffed you to a bench?
They did, Dawn. They did. Okay. I'm a 55-year-old PTA mom.
Very, you're a beautiful brunette.
55.
Yeah. Nobody knew you were. Everybody thought you were a beautiful. First of all, nobody thinks you're 30.
Oh my goodness.
You're a gorgeous brunette, and you're a petite woman. If I can describe, I'm being honest here. I mean, Val, to me, I have so many questions, but at that point, what's going through your mind? I mean, because you're a mom, you're a community member.
Oh my gosh.
And you're being handcuffed in front of the community. Some of them obviously know who you are through, whatever, your kid's school, or through the fact that you're a GOP state committee woman. So
I was mortified that they would be so incredibly disrespectful in how they handled me. I mean, they, ripped my handbag off of me and, threw my glasses on the counter and, pushed me in the room and patted me down. And I'm like, I can't believe this. And of course, Dawn, I have a 14-year-old, and I'm like, I need to pick him up at the bus soon.
Right.
And, they took my phone. I couldn't contact my son. And I thought, I cannot believe this is happening. This is wild. This is a police state. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I had heard with my own ears, seen with my own eyes, as far as the blatant voter suppression. Multiple instances that the entire crowd heard, not just me. Everyone heard it.
Yeah, on social media, witnesses were coming up, defending you. We saw that. We saw the video. It's pretty obvious you were not yelling or shouting. They could hear you saying, stay in line, like in your voice,
right.
You're speaking in right now. There was no shouting or anything of that nature.
Right.
But what do you think is the bottom line here? I mean, I don't know that we don't have a statement from them yet. The GOP chairman, obviously, Michael Whatley, he put out the statement there. We've seen other officials demanding answers. And they are saying that they feel that this is some kind of, intimidation or voter suppression.
Completely. Yes, I agree completely. It is voter intimidation. And I said that to everyone. This is intimidation. Do not be discouraged. Please stay in line and vote. It is your right. And
hey, Val, we have a witness, thanks to Brenda, who's calling in right now. Can we just...
Sure.
Hey, Brenda, you witnessed this?
I did not witness what happened to her, but I did. I was there at 11:15 yesterday morning, and the line was pretty long, and the members of the Board of Election were coming out and saying, the only reason you should be in this line is if you're not going to be in town on November 5th. And again, they were discouraging you by saying you have to go in this line, and then you fill out the application. Then you have to go in this line and wait for them to call your name. And then only one person could fill out their ballot at a time.
And so as you hear Val tell her story, I mean, they were cuffing her and the whole thing. What's your reaction based on your experience, Brenda?
Oh, I absolutely think they were trying to suppress the vote. I don't know if it's because they didn't have enough people or what it was, but they were taking their time processing everybody. And then when I saw, I had time constraints on me, and then the table that was there to vote had 3 dividers because I had rounded the corner. Right. And then when I saw they were only letting one person fill out their ballot at a time, I thought, even being here, this is going to take me 2 hours because it just seemed like they were slow. They were making it very, very inconvenient.
Brenda, thank you so much for sharing that. It's important that we have the different, whether you were there earlier or I did have another witness that I talked to last night who was there. Val, just your reaction, to all these different people who supported you, whether they know you or don't know you, but you had a lot of support. Rich Scioli was live on the air, I think, when he realized this. I know he was, trying to give a play-by-play. Everybody was stunned. The bottom line, today's the last day. And so what do you say to people? And we've heard these reports, not the arrest, but I mean, we've heard reports, similar kinds of things happening in Bucks County, Chester County, Montgomery County. What's your advice and your hope for people today, Val?
Do not be deterred. Do not be deterred. Please go and vote. Go to the service centers. Demand that you get your application for a mail-in ballot. Fill out your mail-in ballot and put it in the drop box. Swamp the vote. If they are arresting people like myself who broke no laws, they will be coming for you too.
Yeah.
Okay? And if that's not a reason to vote, Dawn, I don't know what is.
Val,
I appreciate everyone's support. I felt terrible for the people who had to witness me getting handcuffed and hauled out of there because they were truly horrified and distressed that this was happening. And they certainly know I didn't break any laws and I wasn't being disruptive. And, you know, I think the same thing goes through all of our minds, like, wow, you know, this is like a third world country.
Yeah.
You know?
And I should point out,
really happening.
Yeah. Val, I should point out that earlier this month, the Trump 47 office, where, you know, there have been many events I've attended. We've, you know, had a lot of, and, you know, I think of that office where there was an intimidation of some of the volunteers, the manager. So, you know, as far as in Delaware County, we've seen this kind of things that the ladies there felt, you know, I can't
threatened.
Threatened.
For
some of them I was texting back and forth.
They were
with
so upset.
They were terrified.
So upset.
So this is a pattern.
These are volunteers. Okay, I mean, they're volunteers, and they're just doing their part to help reelect Donald Trump and our Republican ticket. And you know, I felt terrible, you know, that our office manager had to experience that. And when I tell you, she's just a teeny tiny little thing of a lady, okay? Yeah. And they surrounded her at her desk. And, you know, it's a second floor office. There's really nowhere to go. I was heartbroken for her, and she was devastated by the, you know, everything that had taken place. And so were our other volunteers. And, you know, we had to get security in there now. But these things shouldn't have to happen. We shouldn't need security. We shouldn't be receiving bomb threats, you know, and all kinds of other threats that different members of the GOP are receiving. You know, it's scary. I don't know. I've never really witnessed a Republican acting like this to, you know, someone who disagrees with our political views. I don't know of one instance that I can call to mind. You know, if people disagree with me, that's fine. We don't need to agree. You know, I'm friends with Democrats. You know, I have lots of Democrat friends.
Me too.
We don't agree politically, but we are civil toward each other. And, you know, we need civility, Dawn. We need civility again. But, you know, if anything good comes from what happened yesterday, I hope it would just inspire people to go and vote. And today is the last day of in-person mail-in ballot voting. Please go to a service center in Delaware County or whatever county you live in. Get your ballot, vote, put it in the drop box, and let's just swamp the vote and reelect Donald Trump.
Are you going to be
sanity back to this country?
Amen, sister. Are you going to be? Trump is at this town hall today in Drexel Hill.
Yes.
You going to be there?
Yes.
Okay. And I know.
Well, I was.
Okay.
I was planning on it, but quite honestly, it's a very small venue.
Yes.
And I know they had to cut the list. I will probably cover the office for someone who would like to go. I obviously have seen Donald Trump many times. I've met him, you know, many times. You know, let someone else go and have the experience. I'm fine with that. You know, I'm busy enough.
Yeah, you've had a rough
I think
day.
he'd rather me be getting the vote out, you know. And, you know, I'm still, like, just stunned by what happened yesterday. I really am. I just, my kids, you know, I had to have a talk with them last night. I mean, they you know, can't really grasp why everyone is so evil, you know, and it's just, it was a terrible experience. And, you know, of course, my first concern is them. So, but that it is what it is. And well, thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. You know, I'm sorry it happened. I feel terrible for the people who had to witness, you know, what transpired yesterday.
And I know that they're trying to track down exactly who was saying this, why this, you know, there is an investigation ongoing. So we'll get to the bottom of it, Val. Thank you so much for,
sure, Dawn.
first of all, letting us know that you're okay, because there was a lot of concern. But thank you, my
for your
friend.
support, Dawn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. All right, take
Val,
care.
you're the best. Thanks a million. Yeah, she's a great lady. And if you've been out to some of the Trump Force 47 events, and you've seen Val, so we'll keep tabs on this investigation. I believe that she is, as we look at all these fast-moving developments in Delco, and we have some news on that, she'll be calling in, I believe, to the Dom show this afternoon, and there will be some updates there. So that's why it's a beautiful thing that we are live, we are local, and we're always updating all of the news. This is local news that's making national news, and we've got it all covered for you. Donald J. Trump speaking out from Mar-a-Lago before he heads to Delco. We've got that too. This is the Dawn Stensland Show. Thanks for being here. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The NBA is back, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass.